What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Rippin' Packs. It's Throwback Thursday. And today we're going back. Going way back. So I met this guy at a Target, waiting for cards. Trust me, it's going to be fine. The story's not going to get weird or freaky or anything. Anyway, so I met this guy. He's a baseball card collector. Really cool guy. Turns up we have a mutual friend. Anyway, Mitch. Mitchell, however you go. I call you Mitch, but whatever. He watches the channel and he decided, you know what? I would like to gift you something for you to open on Throwback Thursday. He pulled from his collection, his massive collection of unopened wax from the 90s, late 80s, 90s. I personally don't have any more of these. He still does. And you know what? It's awesome. Either way, what are we opening today, Craig? You say, just get to it. We're going to open up the donated box of 1990 Bowman baseball. Has bubblegum in it. This, right around this era is when I slowly started getting out of the hobby. So this is going to be a fun rip, and it's going to be quite possibly a long rip. We'll see.
Hi there. I'm Craig Michelson, and I just got back into the hobby after more than 15 years away. Join me as I reconnect with the hobby, one pack at a time. Now let's rip some packs.
All right, everybody. Throwback Thursday is meant for a day like today. Going all the way back to 1990. Bowman. We have the second generation of Bowman. This is the second iteration of Bowman, year 2. It came back in 1989. We have Will Clark, the Giants' first baseman, all-star. He's our cover boy. Loved watching Will the throw play. There's going to be a lot of memories in this thing, and the problem is there's going to be a lot of packs. So we're just going to rip open this bad boy. I'm going to go overhead camera, unless it's a star or a rookie, which we're going to go to there. To you. So pretty much, it's not a personal rip, but it might as well be a personal rip because, again, if you heard earlier, Mitch, who I met at Target waiting for cards one day. We've got to become friends, and he donated this for the show. So, Mitch, thank you again, my brother. I'll see if I can get that Sammy Sosa for you. He just wants a Sammy Sosa rookie out of here. I would like the Frank Thomas and the Griffey second year. Sure, it's not worth a lot. Most of these things aren't worth much. But if you get a good one, a 10, it might be something. Anyway, ripping packs. Let's rip this open. But before we open this, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, notification bell, and then you know what? Follow all of those fine 4 apps, social medias that I'm on. And by the way, I'm on Clubhouse. So if there's anybody out there who wants to participate on Clubhouse, who doesn't have an invite yet or whatever, let me know. DM me on Instagram. That's probably the best way about it. And let me know that you'd be interested in joining. It's actually a pretty cool app, and I've been participating, doing some acting, film stuff, and obviously on the sports card side. I might create a group on there. We'll see. But right now, there's a couple good groups that I'm on board with and using my knowledge or lack thereof on some of these things. So anyway, thanks again. Rippin' Packs, Mitchell. Thanks again. Rippin' Packs. 1990 Bowman baseball. We got a rundown. We have 36 count here. 36 packs. It's gonna be a long one. And yes, I'm gonna eat the gum. I know, crazy. Ripping packs. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Ripping friggin' packs. Throwback Thursday. Okay. All right. Let's get out of here, plastic. Wow, we got a poster. We're back for 1990. Whoa, there we go. Yeah, so that's got Ricky Henderson and Will the Thrill on there. Cool. Available here. It's available here. So it's kind of cool. All right, so let's just cut to the chase. We'll go this side first. And again, like I mentioned, I'm going to eat the gum after each quarter. So, you ready? Ripping packs. Here we go. 1990 but gum. 14 picture cards plus 1 bubblegum. Should I enter the Bowman sweepstakes? Probably not. It's probably retired. Here we go. Ripping packs. Okay, there's our gum. We will put that in its own little corner. Flip these things around. Boom, we got a Brett Saberhagen card. And then we have Charlie Liebrant, Chris James, Billy Spires, Mel Hall, Scott Ruskin, Eric Stone, not known, Roberto Kelly, I remember this guy, he was pretty good. Carl Rhodes, Carl Tuffy Rhodes. Ended up hitting 3 home runs on opening day for the Cubs. I want to say it was in 92 or something like that. That was the highlight of his career. Don't get me wrong, it's awesome. Still. Lenny Dykstra. Wow, this guy was a gamer. Called him Nails. He was that guy. He's obviously his post baseball life's been pretty crappy. But Lenny Dykstra, hell of a center fielder for the Mets and the Phillies. And then he kind of went down in flames. Dick Schofield, Terry Bross, Gino Petralli, Gary Reedus, and Pete Harnish, who was a good rookie at one point. There is pack number 1. Pack number 2. Rippin' Packs. Throwback Thursday. Bowman 1990. Get over here, gum. Flip you guys around. All right, we got Nolan Ryan. That's going to go into the PC pile because I collect Mr. Nolan Ryan. And then we have ourselves Robin Yount, Hall of Famer for the Milwaukee Brewers. That's a hit. Carlton Fisk, Hall of Famer for the White Sox and also the Red Sox. Another hit. Milt Kyler, Jaime Navarro, Devon White. I have a bunch of his autographs. Kirby Puckett, Hall of Famer for the Twins. Guy prematurely died too early, and but he had a great career until he had his eye, I think it was a dislocated socket. Scott Sanderson, Greg Jeffries. Wow, that's a name from the past. Anybody who was in the hobby in the late 80s, Greg Jeffries was the shit. I mean, everybody's talking Jason Dominguez right now. Greg Jeffries was that. Everybody's talking Luis Robert right now. Well, last season. Probably still this season. Greg Jeffries was that. He was the best. Didn't pan out, but still, Greg Jeffries. I'm going to throw him in the hit pile because that guy is definitely reminiscent of my early days of collecting. Frank Viola, Paul Coleman, he was a rookie. Hit. Mike at the time. Mike Moore, Wes Gardner, Andy Neslick, Tommy Herr. All right. Pack number 3, Ribbon Packs. Okay, let's get over here. Gum. Flip you guys around. Boom. Is that Greg Olson? It's got to be Greg Olson. It doesn't say. It's Greg Olson. Then we have ourselves Brian Downing, Jose Canseco. This was a hit back then. I'm still going to throw him in the hit pile because I'm still living that life. So, Jose Canseco, that's a hit. Brett Gideon, Milt Thompson, Jason Grimsley, that was a rookie then. Jeff Ballard, Scott Bryant, Todd Zeal. This guy was stud catcher. He played for the Dodgers too for a little bit, but he was also played for the Mets. Todd Zeal was one of the top catchers in that time. Russ Swan, Delino DeShields, love that guy. Spike Owen, Chili Davis, now a hitting coach. Tom Bernansky and Scott Heeman. Have a bunch of Scott Heeman autographs. I know you care. Pack number 4. With backs, Throwback Thursday. All right. And boom. All right, we got ourselves Kevin Mitchell, who I loved watching play for the Giants. And then we have Gary DiSarcina, have his autographs. Gary Pettis, son Dante, used to play for the Niners. Kirk McCaskill for the Angels. Joe Skolowski for the Indians. Willie Blair for the Blue Jays. Rich Yett. I got a bunch of this guy's autographs too. When you live in a town like Portland, the AAA guys, all of them, even the guys who were like the 4A guys who were just going back and forth, Rich Yett, it was a big deal to get this guy's autograph. This guy right here, Rich Yett. I waited at the end of the dugout to get Rich Yett's autograph. Former Cleveland Indian, I remember that because he played for Colorado Springs. Pete O'Brien, Rafael Palmeiro. If you saw my show the other day, I pulled Rafael Palmeiro out of Donners. I was PCing this guy like crazy back in those days. And yeah, the rest of the story has... Yeah. I'm going to throw him in my PC though because this is the younger Craig Ripping today. Andres Galarraga, Mark Grace. There's a hit for me. I actually interviewed Mark Grace in high school. when I worked for the Portland Beavers years ago, I got to know Winston Ficklin, who was an outfielder then for the team, and he played at Pittsfield. He was formerly a Cubs product. He played at Pittsfield and was friends with Mark Grace, so I was able to actually sit and have an interview with Mark Grace when I was in high school during his rookie year. It was the year he lost out to Chris Sabo for Rookie of the Year, but Mark Grace, one of my favorite players, until I kind of got out of it for a little bit. But yeah, that's awesome. That's a hit for me. Then we have Joe Oliver, Vince Coleman, one of the fastest base stealers in the game, Mike Harkey, who I was big on, Barry Bonds with the Pirates. Not his rookie at all, probably like 4 years removed, but still, I mean, that's a clean card. And I think that was pre-Rhodes Barry. Yeah. Moving on to pack number 5. It's going to be a long one. I might break this into 2 episodes and release it the same day, just so you're not bored. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Now, get out of here, gum. Come on. All right, we got ourselves Vincent Jackson, or Edward Jackson, whatever. Bo Jackson for the Royals. That's going to go into the hit pile. Then we have ourselves Bill Gullickson, Jose Oquendo, one of the greatest utility players of all time. Played every position. Really, yeah, I think he played every position. Jose Oquendo. Cecil Fielder, the dad of Prince Fielder, and this is a guy who had a great story. He left America. He was formerly a Blue Jays first baseman to play in Japan, hit a crap ton of home runs, came back and was like, boom! I think it was 50. Was it 50 or 49 home runs? Led the league, and he just, yeah, he was awesome. Awesome player. I have his autograph, too. I know, again, like you care. I'm going to throw him in the hip ball. Screw it. Ken Griffey. We got Dad here. We got Old Man, Ken Griffey Sr. He's not a hit, but you know what? I might pull him just in case. It's a karma thing. Yeah. Tim Leana. A checklist. Ooh. John Ullrud. This guy, straight from college at Washington State University to the major leagues. Didn't play an inning in the minors. John Ullrud. Ended up having a good career. He was originally a Blue Jay, then a Met, and then a Mariner. Anyway, he had a good career. John Ullrud. Alan Trammell, should be Hall of Famer. Actually, he is, isn't he? Lou Whitaker's not. Yeah. Kelly Gruber, Scott Service, Jeff Russell, Leo Gomez, Steve Wilson, and Scott Bradley for the Mariners. I'm just going to stop saying the packs because I already lost count, and my math is bad. Here we go. Okay. We've got ourselves Will the Thrill for the special bonus card. We'll throw that into the hit pile. And then we have Mark Lewis, Jeff Hamilton. There's a PC hit. Throw you on the PC. Alan Zinter, Andahar Cedeno. This was a big deal back in the day. He played a lot like Carlos Correa for the Astros, but he was a solid shortstop. Just never panned out. Sean Dunston, this guy had an arm. I loved watching this guy play shortstop for the Cubs. He had pretty much a better arm than most of the pitchers on the team at the time. Sean Dunston. Park Pittman. Oh, yeah. Juan Samuel, great player. Mike Boddicker. Kevin Gross. Willie Green, I remember him. Kevin Brown. Chuck Knobloch, another guy I interviewed when I was in high school. Went straight from AA to the Twins. I got to see him when the Twins actually came down to play Portland when I was working for the team. Second baseman, Rookie of the Year, had great seasons with the Twins, then went to New York and kind of fell off the radar just because he got a case of the yips. So he was a great player, though. And then Burt Blyleven, Hall of Famer, and Cal Eldred. There's a Cal Eldred for you, Mitch. We talked about Cal Eldred, did we not? Another pack. Here we go, ribbon packs. Bowman 1990 edition. Throwback friggin' Thursday. Let's go. All right, Mark Grant, I want to say, for the Padres. Marquise Grissom. Guy was a great center fielder, great overall outfielder. Just a total, just all 5 tools. Joe Ursulak, Brian Dubois, Rico Bronya. Oh, the names from the past. Rob Nen, former stud closer. Dan Plesac. If you watch MLB TV, MLB Network, you'll realize Dan Plesac is one of the broadcasters there, or the, one of the hosts. Willie Banks. So when I worked for the Beavers, I actually became really good friends with Willie. He actually gifted me his glove, his fielding glove. Pitcher prospect was the number 2 overall, I think, out of the 87 or 88 draft. But no, really really good dude. He's now living in Texas. He's doing a bunch of pitching camps out there. But he's from Elizabeth, New Jersey, and was just one of the top pitchers. Former Cub, former Dodger, former, I think, Rangers for a little while. Willie Banks. That's going in my own personal collection because he's an old friend. And granted, I haven't talked to him in a couple of years, but Willie Banks, friend, PC friend. Kent Merker, Steve Hosey, Orlando Rooms. Here is the Aristides Aquino of then, Orlando Rooms. Gerald Young, Roger the Rocket Clemens going into the hit pile because this was pre-Rhodes. He was a hell of a pitcher then. It's Wayne Edwards and Jeff Shaw, closer for the Indians. All right. Got 2 packs left in the first stack of 9. Okay, get out of here, gum. Okay, we've got ourselves Robin Yount. You're gonna go into the hit pile, even though it's the whatchamacallit card. It's not the award, the contest card. Then we have Chris Bozzio, former pitching coach, who getting into a lot of trouble for being pretty much racist. Chet Lemon, love this guy's name. Eric King, Bill Pacoda, Mark Langston, loved watching this guy pitch. Former Mariner, former Angel, ended up pitching against the Mariners against Griffey when the Mariners won the play-in series. Mark Langston, now with the Angels broadcast team. Tim Leary, Kirk Gibson, going into the PC pile because Kirk Gibson. He had that one at-bat. To be brutally honest with you, yeah, he was a decent player for us. But I wasn't a fan of the Dodgers at the time because I was still living in the Northwest. But I remember those moments. And he had a good career. But that at-bat against Eckersley in the World Series, that's what cemented his career. Yeah, like Kurt Schilling. PC pile. Bo Jackson. There's a Bo right there. That's a hit no matter what. Guy had a mediocre career, but man, he was flashy. BJ Surhoff, Wally Joyner. This guy was a stud first baseman. Little known fact, he was actually part owner in Upper Deck back in the day. When Upper Deck first started, Wally Joyner was kind of one of the early guys to throw a bunch of money into it. That's a hit back then. It's a hit for me now. Tom Browning, Kevin Brown, Carney Lansford, and Kent Herbeck. Last pack of the first quarter. Throwback Thursday, 1990 Bowman. Is that Sean Dunston? No, it's Jerome Walton. Oh my goodness. Jerome Walton. This guy was, he was a big deal back in the day. All right. Yeah, it's got to be Jerome Walton. Dickie Thon. This guy, they don't make names like this anymore. That's all I'm going to say. Danny Mendick would be the closest to it, but Dickie Thon. The annual Dickie Thon. Come on down. We're selling Dickies in this Thon. Dickie Thon. Okay, that was stupid. Ed Whitson. Julio Valera, Eric Gunderson. I never faced him. He was older than me, but he was from the Northwest, and I think Oregon City was the school. I played at Tigard. Eric Gunderson. Rob Ventura. This guy and Nolan Ryan are not good buddies. Actually, they're whatever. But Rob Ventura was actually the guy, if you don't know, he's the one who Nolan was throwing up and in at, and Robin decided to charge him out, and Nolan beat the crap out of him with noogies. Just, yeah. Omar Vizquel. I got a bunch of this guy's autographs too when he was playing for the Mariners. Should be a Hall of Famer, although that little thing he had with his wife about 4 or 5 months ago, it's not going to help. But I'm throwing him in the hit pile because he's Omar Vizquel. Come on, I liked watching this guy play. Stud Gold Glover. Todd Hundley, Mike Schooler, former Mariners closer, Paul O'Neill, Mark Gardner, Jeff Juden, Dave Stewart. This guy was intimidating as F on the mound. And yeah, his career was mediocre, but when he got with the A's, he became a stud. Dave Stewart. Eric Anthony. There was a guy who was a power hitter. Look at that big old lip there. He got that big old chaw in there. Got ready to spit down on the ground. I'm going to go ahead and mash. Guy had a ton of home runs in the minors and got to the majors and couldn't hit a breaking pitch. And then Dan Pasqua, another masher. All right, so there is round number 1. Let's get some of this gum. Are you ready? Very crunchy. It's a good thing I sped up that segment. Oh my God. Wow. Okay. Quarter number 2. Ripping back. Throwback Thursday. 1990 tops. Here we go. Bowman. What am I saying? Tops. It's not tops. It's Bowman. Okay. Okay, another Greg Olson card. I only know that because Greg Olson was the closer of the Orioles at the time. Okay. Jose De Leon. Phil Bradley, former Mariner. Tom Hankey. John Tudor. Travis Fryman of the Tigers. Then a rookie stud. Tim Belcher for the Dodgers. PC Pile. Alfredo Griffin for the Dodgers. PC Pile. Mark Lemke was really good in the World Series for the Braves. Ended up doing well for them. I think he won the MVP one year. No, he didn't. He played well. They didn't win because the Twins beat him. Dave Stieb for the Blue Jays. Chris Sabo, the guy I was talking about earlier, who edged out Mark Grace for Rookie of the Year. Sabo was a 27-year-old rookie who came up, but he was notoriously known for the goggles. His nickname was Spuds McKenzie. Jose Lind, Junior Felix, Brent Main, and Cory Snyder. All right, Cory Snyder was notorious. I'll push hard right here. One of the early adopters of TTM. He just mailed cards to him all the time, and we just constantly sign him. He probably still does. But Cory Snyder was always one of my favorites to send to because he had a very nice signature. Next pack number 2 of the quadrant of Bowman 1990. Throwback Thursday. All right. Another Kevin Mitchell. Carmelo Anthony. Tony Gwynn. Hall of Famer, rest in peace. You're going into the hit pile, and as I mentioned a couple days ago, I've met Tony a few different times before he died, and just a really classy dude, signed stuff, and just a good baseball dude. Obviously, look at his batting average. He knew how to hit. He knew baseball. Gary Sheffield, this was a stud back in the day. He's a fringe Hall of Famer. Just the problem with him is he was kind of an ass, so a lot of people didn't like him, A. And B, he played on so many different teams. I think he played on 10 different teams. So that was the thing that really kind of threw him off. He was originally a shortstop before he shifted to the outfield. So Gary Sheffield, I'm putting him in the hit pile because it would have been a hit back then. Bill Duran, Walt Terrell for the Pirates, Dave Valley. Dave Valley, catcher for the Mariners at the time. Him and his son is actually good friends with my son. Well, not good, my brother, not son. Jesus. And Valley was a catcher. He's now with the MLB Network, but he does a lot of broadcasting stuff. So, yeah, Dave Valley. Fred Lynn, former Red Sox. Tino Martinez. This guy was a hit in my book back in those days. Most of you know him as the New York Yankee who was clutch. Had a good career. Barry Larkin, Hall of Famer, and this is a massively issue with the print. If you'll see, it's very soft, out of focus there. But Barry Larkin, Hall of Famer, going in the hit pile. Tim Wallach, Bip Roberts. This was one of my guys I PC'd back in the day. He's going to go in the PC pile, I will say that. But I just love this guy. Total utility, total scrapper. Played second base, outfield. The Chris Taylor of then. But no, he was just fun to watch. Steve Balboni, nothing like a power hitter. Steve Balboni, he looked like it. Pretty much there was the old line in Major League, when this guy sneezed, it looked like a party favor. Well, that was Balboni. Big old mustache, DH, struck out 200 times a year, but also hit 30 home runs. So back then, he was not in the hobby, but as a player. Rob Murphy and Fred the Crime Dog McGriff. Former Padre. He's another French Hall of Fame guy who should be in the Hall of Fame. As many home runs as this guy hit. Hit pile for me. Another pack. Yeah, I'm breaking this up into 2 parts just for the sake of this is going to be an hour-long episode already. You ready? Let's do it. We got ourselves another Bo Jackson. Throw you into the hits. Then Joe Price. I don't know this guy, actually. Bill Sampson, Carlos Baerga. This guy was just awesome. Second baseman, shortstop, third baseman. He just did a lot of utility things for the Indians, and yeah, just an awesome player overall. Terry Pendleton, former third base stud. Jeff Blauser, Brian Lame, Keith Comstock. Oh boy, Lee Smith, Hall of Famer. Steve Olin from. Sad note, Steve Olin died, I want to say it was in 92, in a boating accident with the Cleveland Indians. Him and another, I can't remember the other guy, but Steve Olin, the reason I know that is because he literally was the next town over from me, Beaverton. I lived in Tigard. And he, boating accident during spring training in Florida. And that really hit the team and the Major League Baseball at the time. Kind of a big deal then. Steve Olin. Andre Santana, Larry Anderson, Dave Otto, George Brett, Hall of Famer. Do I need to say more about one of the guys, the closest guy to hit 400? I think he led the league in batting average in 4 different generations. 70, 80, 90 in the end of 2000. So anyway, Hall of Famer, George Brett. And Brett Butler. Well, that gum is really starting to settle there. Ribbonbacks. 1990 Bowman throwback. Another Will the Thrill. I'll put you in there. And then we have PC hit Mike Scioscia, former manager of the Angels for 20 plus years. Jeff Branson, Ernie Witt, John Wetland going in the PC. Dave Winfield, Hall of Famer, and the guy was another guy straight out of college, and straight into the major leagues out of the University of Minnesota. Drafted by the Vikings and the Minneapolis Lakers. Is that right? Lakers? No, maybe the San Diego Clippers. I don't know. I know he was drafted by all 3 major sports at the time. So, come on, man. What, you couldn't play hockey? Whatever. Hit. Luis Salazar, Bob Hamlin. There was another rookie back in the day that everybody was high on, and just look at him. Come on. He looked like the next Steve Alboni. I know. Jim DeShays, now a broadcaster for the White Sox. Doug Dravick, this guy was an ace. Eric Davis, this guy was an awesome player. Eric the Red, him and Daryl Strawberry went to the same high school together, and Eric had a great career. They're both down from Compton, South Central LA, and he had a great career. Not Hall of Fame, but just one of those guys, hobby relevant, was just a stud. Kevin Mitchell, who I mentioned earlier, Mike Bilecki, John Orton, and Pete Incaviglia. Wow, we're pulling up all these guys. Pete Incaviglia was another guy who went straight from college, I want to say it was Oklahoma, to the majors. Didn't play an inning in minor league baseball. So Pete Incaviglia. Still haven't pulled any of those rookies. Any of the good rookies. The Frank Thomas or the Sammy Sosa or... God, who else? Well, those are the 3 big ones. I mean, the 2 big ones. And then, obviously, Griffey second year. Another Mark Grant. We have Eddie Murray going into PC. And I just noticed that, and Ernie Camacho, that I haven't pulled any of the Red Sox or early Dodgers because there's so many damn cards, which I will remedy now. Ray Palacios. Bob Walk, now with the Pirates broadcast team. Mike Scott. Alexis Infante, Dion James, Dean Wilkins, Mike Devereaux, I believe the only player in the major leagues to ever make it to the major leagues from Cheyenne, Wyoming. I know, really random there. He was a good ball player. Carlos Martinez, Dave Smith, Howard Johnson, not the hotel chain, Ozzie Guillen. He was a Gold Glover for the White Sox, turned into a pretty good manager, and then the Major League Baseball just kind of said, "No, we don't like your attitude." And Gary Templeton. 4 packs left of the quadrant number 2. 1990 Bowman ripping packs. Throwback Thursday. Let's go. Yeah. Robin Yount going into the hit pile, even though it's a contest card. Don Slott, Willie Randolph, PC pile. Dennis, Oil Can Boyd. Now, that was back in the old days when players had nicknames. Dennis Oil Can Boyd, former Red Sox there. Tom Filler, Jeff Robinson, Earl Cunningham. This guy was the next big thing. I want to say he was first round pick, and he just fizzled. He was a hit back then. You know what? I'm going to throw him in the hit pile. Yeah. Craig Grabeck. Just looking at that picture, it's like, okay, Craig, this is like fresh out of high school. Just put the hat on. Good, you put the hat on? Okay, that's great. Are you ready for your picture? Hey, look over here. Oh, yeah, Craig Grabeck for the White Sox. Had an okay career. Dale Murphy, there's a hit. The guy, there's another pretty much should be Hall of Famer there. He was MVP for 2 seasons in a row and was probably the most dominant player in all of baseball, I want to say, in right around like 81 to 86, 87. The guy was a beast and definitely should be in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. Dale Murphy. Bobby Thigpen, Ed Sprague, Kevin Romine, Bob Boone, Vaughn Hayes, and Chuck Finley. Chuck Finley, if you didn't know, married Tawny Katane. If you ever seen the Whitesnake video, well, here I go again on my own. That's Tawny Katane. That's Chuck Finley's, I think that's his ex-wife now, because they got into some bad stuff. All right, 3 packs left on the quadrant. Okay, we've got ourselves another Jerome Walton, Tom Prince, Frank DiPino, Mickey Pena. I remember this guy. That's a PC hit. Doc Gooden, Dwight Gooden. Man, this guy was an animal. And when you watched him pitch, curveball from Clayton Kershaw's curveball, a fastball was hitting, high 90s, low 100. Actually, it's the uncle of Gary Sheffield. So this was a hit back then. Guess what? I'm throwing it in the hit pile now. Ken Phelps. Back in the days when you could have a big old mustache and wear aviators on the field. And yes, he did wear them when he hit. He was a DH for the most part. Greg Olson, the closer I told you about earlier. Tyler Houston for the Braves. Donald Harris, that was a rookie hit back in those days for the Rangers. I remember him. Mike Remlinger for the Giants. Kevin McReynolds. I actually PC'd him back in the day. I don't know why. I just there was something about his game I liked. So Kevin McReynolds, I'm going to throw him in the PC pile because that's what he was. Kevin Seltzer, this was another Kevin Seitzer, not Seltzer, Seitzer. His 87 Fleer card was like the biggest deal back in those days. He had the dual card with the 2 rookies on it. But yeah, he was a big deal for about a good 3 years, and then he just completely fell off the radar. I'm putting him in the hit pile though, because come on. Alvin Davis, Mariners first baseman, Johnny Ray, and Frank White. Frank White, second baseman, great for the Royals. All right. Okay. All right, we got ourselves, there's our Dwight Gooden, beautiful renderization. Mike Fetters, Rob Nelson, Ken Oberkville, Todd Worrell, Mel Rojas, Tom Goodwin, PC pile, and this guy was a solid speedster rookie back in the day. Lou Whitaker, Sweet Lou, Dave Bergman, Scott Geralds, Rick Sutcliffe, Billy Ripken, Dave Righetti, Kevin Elster, who turned into a decent actor. He was actually in the movie Little Big League, and if you haven't seen the movie Little Big League, it's definitely a great movie to watch. Obviously, it's not realistic, but the ball playing aspect, I was really high on. They did a great job on that. And Ryan Sandberg with a giant dent. Hall of Famer, and that would have gone in the hit pile. But see this gash right there? Yeah, that's a gash that's 32 years in the making. Come on, guys. Well, either way, it would be a hit, but that thing's gashed. Last pack of quadrant 2, and then we're taking a break. Okay, got ourselves Don Mattingly, Donnie Baseball with the promotion card. Jeffrey Leonard, guy was an awesome DH for the Giants, outfielder for the Giants, and just a pure pro hitter for the Mariners. Sammy Sosa, there you go. There's the first Sammy, the first rookie hit. A little off-centered there, but we're going to put that in the rookie hit pile. Mitch, you got yourself a Slammin' Sammy right there, buddy. Be gentle with you. Kevin Bass for the Giants. Nick Asaski for the Braves. Juan Gonzalez, there's a rookie hit also. Juan Gonzalez was just an MVP. Guy's a masher. I don't know why he's not in the Hall of Fame. I think it's just his batting average was... Actually, no, he had a pretty good batting average too. So he's another case study as why is he not in the Hall of Fame. That's another rookie hit. Teddy Higuera for the Brewers. Another checklist. Terry Kennedy. Jim Abbott. If you don't know by now, and I assume you do, Jim Abbott was a one-armed pitcher with the left hand. He was born without a right hand. Pitched at University of Michigan, was on Team USA, and had a nice solid career. Actually threw a no-hitter for the Yankees. But Jim Abbott, he was a pretty big deal back in the day. Cal Ripken, I don't think I need to say anything about this guy. You've probably heard of him, but I do say he did have hair back then. Interesting. Reggie Jefferson, Jack McDowell. Okay, this is a blast from the past. Black Jack, who I interviewed when I want to say it was right around here. It was 1989, I think, when I was in high school. Wanted to be a ball player, like most, idiot boys. And I was able to sit down with him and actually had dinner with him and another outfielder, Mark Davis, they were both playing for the Vancouver Canadians at the time. He ended up winning a Cy Young and had a pretty solid career in the major leagues. He was also a rocker. He actually had a band. I can't remember the name of the band, but he was a good dude. From SoCal here, 6'5", lanky. Went to Stanford. But Jack McDowell, that's a hit for me. That's going in the PC pile for me. Screw that. Tommy Green and Tom Foley. So I'm going to eat me some more gum. We're going to take a break. And then I'm going to post episode 2 after this one. You ready? Fine. Fine. All right, are you ready for part 2? Because we pulled some good hits. I mean, for 1990 Bowman, we pulled some hits. We got a Sosa rookie, we got a Juan Gonzalez rookie, we got some PC, and obviously some good stories to tell, but we still have half a box to go. I know this is going to be a long episode. Let's just do it. Ripping packs, pull out quadrant number 3. Woo! Here we go. And I'm done chewing the gum. I'm done. I'm sorry. I did it, and I can't. Choked to death there. Mark Grant, Eric Gunderson, you already heard my story. Rob Ventura, you heard that story. Omar Vizquel, you heard that story. That's my hit pile. Todd Hundley, Chris Bozzio, Chet Lemon, Eric King, Jack McDowell, another one. Wow, I just pulled him. Tommy Green, Tom Foley, Tuffy Rhodes, Lenny Dykstra, Dick Schofield, and Terry Bross. Okay. Pack number 2 of, well, it's already been kind of opened. Ooh. It was sealed, so there's always that. All right, here we go. We've got ourselves another Robin Yount going into the hits. Dave Rhodey, I remember his, he had an error card. It was actually Carl Rhodes, the guy I just showed you a bit ago, Tuffy Rhodes. Their name and pictures were swapped. Cal Daniels going in the PC. Ed Romero. Mike Stanton, now a broadcaster on Sirius XM, a former closer for the Rangers, Braves, and the Yankees. Dickie Thon, you heard that spiel. Ed Whitten, Julio Valera, Gino Petrelli, Gary Reedus, Pete Harnish, Greg Jeffries. Yeah, you're going in the hit pile, buddy. Frank Viola, Paul Coleman. That was a hit back then. And guess what? I'm still throwing in the hits. Why not? He was a rookie, by the way. And Mike Moore for the A's. He was another guy like Earl Cunningham, just a pure athlete, football player build. Was awesome. Okay, pack number 3 of Bowman 1990 Throwback Thursday. Yeah. Another Jerome Walton. Oral Hershiser. Bulldog. The guy was a great pitcher. Was never a Hall of Famer, but he had Hall of Fame stats for about a good 3-4 years. Just a great pitcher. Now on the broadcast team for the Dodgers, but he just was, he was really good. Ended up playing for the Rangers, I want to say, in the Indians and the Mets. And I think he pitched for the Giants. Anyway, PC pile. Mike Blowers, now in the Mariners broadcast crew. Jay Howell for the Dodgers, hit pile. Willie Smith. Walt Weiss won the Rookie of the Year, and I want to say 88. I could be wrong, 88. But yeah, won a Rookie of the Year, and career went down. He was actually the manager of the Rockies before Bud Black was. Not too about a good 5 years ago. Steve Wapnick, Randy Johnson. There's big unit right there. I don't think that's his rookie, because his rookie is with the Expos, but that's a hit either way. Big unit, Randy Johnson. Wes Gardner. Andy Nels. Hey, you're going in the PC pile. Finally getting that corrected. Andy Nelznick, Tommy Herr, Todd Zeal, Russ Swan, Delino DeShields. Yeah, guy's a great ball player. His son is also playing in the major leagues. I want to say he's with Cleveland now, but yeah, Delino DeShields, he was a big deal back in those days. And Spike Owen. Okay. Pack number 3. 4. Pack number 4 of Quadrant 3. Okay, we got ourselves Dwight Gooden, hit pile. Daryl Hamilton, great outfielder, rest in peace. Eric Show, Dave Hollins, Brady Anderson. This guy was the first testament of Rhodes. He ended up doing the Luke Perry really long sideburns there. I think he hit like 50, was it 40 something? He hit close to 50 home runs as a leadoff hitter for the Orioles. And that's when everybody was like, okay, what's going on here? And then McGuire and Jose hit a bunch. So yeah, Brady Anderson was actually the first person to really kind of set the alarms off. Denny Martinez, Jose Offerman. This guy, another stud shortstop. In all of baseball, he was a big deal. Then he just kind of never put it together. But for the Dodgers, going in the PC pile. Jeff Parrott, Chili Davis, love that guy. Tom Bernansky, Scott Heeman, Rafael Palmeiro, Andres Galarraga. I pulled him earlier, but I didn't mention it. His career was kind of so-so, but then he, when the Rockies got their expansion team, he ended up becoming like an all-star. Got playing time, played first base. I don't know if he won a Gold Glove, but he was nicknamed the Cat. Just a great overall player when he got time to show what he could do. Mark Grace again, you're going into the PC pile, and Joe Oliver. All right, another pack. Yeah, something like that. Get out of here, Gum. I'm done with you. Donnie Baseball, you're going into the PC hit pile. Then we have Ramon Martinez. Nice. The brother of Pedro Martinez. Ramon was the bigger deal at the time. Pedro was kind of signed as an afterthought. Ramon was, I want to say, 6'4", 6'5", and Pedro was 5'10". So, but in the end, we all know who won that one. Going into the PC pile. Howard Farmer. Dennis Rasmussen. Checklist. Danny Gladden. Mike Marshall. Ricky Henley Henderson. There's a hit right there. Just, yeah, all-time, great all-time. Vince Coleman, which is funny, both of them back-to-back, because they were both the stolen base guys back in those days. Mike Harkey for the Cubs. Another Barry Bonds, you're going in the hits. Alan Trammell, Kelly Gruber, Scott Service, and Jeff Russell round out that pack. Still haven't pulled the Griffey yet. Still haven't pulled the Frank Thomas either. Are we going to get one soon? Come on, guys. Come on, Tops. Don't play with my heart. Brett Saberhagen. Tommy Glavine, Hall of Famer for the Braves. Okay, you're going in the hit pile. Ben McDonald. This guy was another first-round number one overall by the Orioles. I think he's with the broadcast team for the Orioles now, but he was like out of LSU, and he was just an animal who just injuries. Rock Raines. Funny. Tim Raines. But he's going by his nickname Rock there. Should be in the Hall of Fame, too. I'm putting you in there. Sandy Alomar. Here's a great example of another guy. Not Greg Jeffries. I mean, he had a great major league career, but he's had a great career as a head coach, too. Not a head coach, but as a bench coach. So he's kind of been going back and forth with Tito out in Cleveland, taking some time off. But, yeah, Sandy Alomar. That was a hit back then. John Franco, closer for the Yankees. The Mets. Kevin Bierce, Bryn Smith, Leo Gomez, Steve Wilson, Scott Bradley, Mike Boddicker, PC pal, Kevin Gross, Willie Green, and Kevin Brown. Ooh, those print errors back in the day. You can't really, I don't know if you could see it there, but he is so out of focus, the entire card. It's like it was triple printed on the card. Anyway, whatever. 3 packs left for quadrant number 3. No more gum for me, because I'm probably going to die. I should probably go see a doctor after this. There's another Nolan going to the PC. Steve Avery, a stud pitcher for the Braves back in the day. They had an awesome rotation. They were like the best rotation of all baseball. Randy Myers, former closer from Vancouver, my city close to Portland. Andy Bennis, this guy was another animal. I want to say he was Wichita State. Just a beast of a pitcher, and just never panned out. Had some couple good years here and there, but he also pitched, I want to say it was a closer for the Cardinals for a little bit. Alejandro Pena going, who, me? Who, me? I don't know. Who, me? Dave Henderson, Hindu. Kevin Ritz. Roger Smithberg. Wow. Chuck Knobloch, another hit for me in the rookies. I'll throw you here. Brett by 11. Cal Eldred. Kent Merker. Steve Hosey. Orlando Rooms, and Gerald Young. 2 packs left in quadrant 3. 2 packs left in quadrant 3. Greg Olson. Pedro Guerrero, former Dodger great. This guy was just an awesome first baseman, just a pro hitter. Kevin Tapani, I never could say it back then. Mark Williamson. Tony Peters Chica. Sid Fernandez. Joe Carter. This was a PC hit for me. I loved watching Joe play. He was a former Cubs rookie prospect. Had some good years with the Indians, but if you really pay attention, the Toronto Blue Jays, that's where he really made his mark in Major League Baseball. I don't know, hitting that home run off of Mitch Williams to win the World Series for the Blue Jays. Yeah, Joe Carter. Why'd I call him Kevin? Duh. Gary Carter, Hall of Fame, rest in peace. Roger Clemens, another hit there. Wayne Edwards, screw you. Gary Carter, you're going in the hit pile. Jeff Shaw, another Bo Jackson, hit pile. BJ Surhoff, Wally Joyner, hit back then, and Tom Browning. Last pack of quadrant 3. Here we go. Okay, Kevin, Mitchell, Gary, Eve, I remember this guy. Huey Brooks, PC pile. Kiki Jones. That guy was a stud pitcher too back in those days. He was a big deal and just never panned out. Jim Presley, Scott Aldred, Mike Rochford, Andre the Hawk Dawson, my favorite player of all time. When I got back into baseball around '87, that's when obviously we had WGN. That's when he won the MVP, and I just watched the games and loved watching this guy play. And Andre Dawson became my favorite player of all time. Got a bunch of his autographs. I've never met the guy though. That's one guy I do want to meet, at least to shake his hand and say thanks for being you. I don't know, but yeah, Andre Dawson, my favorite player of all time. PC, the number 1 PC in my heart. Kevin Brown, Carney Lansford, Kent Herbeck, Mike Schooler, Paul O'Neill, Mark Gardner, and Jeff Juden. Hey, Junior. Hey, Frank. You're avoiding me. What's going on here? Are you going to come out of here? Are you going to come out of these? Let's hope. Here we go. Ripping packs. Throwback Thursday. Giveaway. Thanks for my buddy Mitch for all of these cards. 1990 Bowman. Okay, another Bo Jackson, which is, again, that's the contest card, whatever. Paul Killigus, Pascal Perez. Oh, yeah. Just Google Pascal Perez. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. He's like a Chappelle Show sketch that was real life. Daryl Strawberry. Man, this guy. You heard my story about Eric Davis. Daryl Strawberry was a man. He was a man amongst boys. Ended up signing with the Dodgers, and once that happened, his career went downhill. Just drugs. He was a hit then. Thomas Howard. I have a bunch of his autographs. Al Newman. Bob Patterson. Bill Landrum. Dave Stewart. Eric Anthony. Dan Pasqua. Steve Farr. Chris Hoyles. Another one of those great. Hey, let's just throw a picture. Let's throw a hat on your head and just take a picture. How's that sound? Chris, former catcher for the Orioles. Yeah, he played a few years in the bigs. Ruben Sierra. This guy was a pro hitter for the Rangers. Yeah, just good average, good pop. Ended up playing a couple of good years with the Yankees too. He was a hit back then. So going in the hit pile. And Roberto Alomar, Hall of Fame second baseman. Had some great years with the Blue Jays and with the Mets. Big deal there. So we got some fresh, different cards. So maybe we'll pull Frank here or a Junior. All right, let's go with pack number 2 of Quadrant 4. Will the Thrill, Greg Brock, John Kruk, one of the most just goofy players of all time, especially in that era. Just kind of a roly-poly guy. Originally a Padre, which is interesting. Alan Mills, Rick Lucan, Odabe McDowell, Steve Bedrosian, Keith Hernandez, then of the Indians, Damon Berryhill, Marty Barrett, Keith Miller, Joey, don't call me Albert, Bell, He actually had a massive alcohol problem, hence the reason he went by the name of, he was originally Joey, was he Joey? He was Joey Bell, then went to Albert as his real name, because Joey was, I guess, a nickname, but pretty good ball player, had some good years, just also had an attitude. He was a hit back then. Ty Griffin, wow, that's a Team USA middle infielder for the Cubs. Just was the next great middle infielder coming up. Never put it together. Going into the rookie hit pile, bud, even though Dwight Evans, Dewey, and then Glenn Davis, another great first baseman back in those days. Okay, yeah, another, whoever that was, I think that's not Mark Davis, is George Bell, Jorge Bell, another masher back in those days. He was just a beast. He hit like 40 plus home runs like 2-3 years in a row. Back in those days, that was a big deal. But George Bell, Mickey Tettleton, Fruit Loops. This guy ate Fruit Loops for breakfast, and he hit a bunch of home runs one year, and that was kind of his little shtick. They called him Fruit Loops. Ozzie Smith, the Wizard, shortstop, great. The thing that's funny is he makes the Hall of Fame. Don't get me wrong, he's a great player, but a guy like Omar Vizquel, guys who are great fielders and good averages, Ozzie Smith kind of leads the way there. It's kind of like the DH thing. Harold Baines, yeah, he's a great player, but is he a Hall of Famer? No. Brian Bohannon, and by the way, yes, Ozzie Smith is a Hall of Famer, deserves to be. Don Mattingly, another great player back in those days. Obviously, he's been a solid manager too, but Mattingly was the pinnacle of the hobby before Griffey showed up. Candy Maldonado, Glenn Braggs, Nelson Liriano, Lonnie Smith, Joey Cora. I have a bunch of his autographs too, but he was played with the Mariners for a while too, and him and Omar Vizquel were the double play tandem. His brother is Alex Cora, who is the manager of the Red Sox, and Joey Cora should have a job somewhere as a head coach. And then Greg Smith, Scott Bankhead, Monty Ferris, and Tim Burke. Okay. Ha! Look what, it's got gum stain! Ah, man! Come on, Topps, gum stain. First card off the bat, and the back is Griffey. Robin Yount, Ken Howell, Gerald Perry, Ray Langford was a great player. Alvaro Espinosa, Mark McGwire. This was obviously before we all knew what he was taking. He was a hit back then and still kind of a hit now. Mark McGwire. Nolan Ryan, there we go. This is a great pack, except for Gumstain. Nolan Ryan, PC hit. You've seen my show before, you know that I've met him and hung out with him for a week. Not just me and him, that would be kind of weird, but it was my brother was at a pitching camp, and him and Tom House had a great clinic, and yeah, in Austin. Bill Baith, Julio Franco, uncle to Wander Franco. I think the guy's still playing in Mexico somewhere, but this guy was just a friggin' pure hitter, and he's got a 10-pack. That's how ripped this guy is. Great hitter. I throw him in the hit pile just because he was such an awesome player. Harold Reynolds. I collected him a little bit back in the day. Second baseman. Now he's on MLB Network, but he actually led the league in stolen bases one year, and he was a decent hitter. Good. I think he won a Golden Glove once. Dwight Smith for the Cubs, Kept Blankenship, Joe McGrain, Blaine Beatty, and Junior with gum stains. It's not like the card's worth a ton. I mean, his rookie is 89, and a Gem Mint 10 is really good. And actually, this is it's off center, up and down, but still, it's Junior. That's a hit. Not his rookie. It's a hit though. And here we go with pack number whatever, quarter 4, Ripping Packs, Throwback Thursday, 1990 Bowman. Jerome Walton, Bobby Rose, wow. This was a guy I PC'd too. I totally PC'd like this was a rookie year, and it was a big deal, and he never panned out. I made a mistake on this kid, but also I was like, 15 years old at the time, so what do you expect? I'm not like Mr. Expert. Yeah. Willie McGee, Kurt Stillwell, Randy Milligan, Dave Schmidt, Craig Lefferts, Jack Dougherty, Benny Santiago, all-star catcher. This guy was a pure hitter. In fact, he has a rookie record for hits in consecutive games and was making a run of it. Back in those days, him and Paul Moliner were really making a run at Pete Rose with that consecutive games hit streak. But yeah, Benito Santiago, that was a hit back then. And guess what? Hit back still. Jack Howell, Kevin Apier, Pat Borders, Daryl Boston, Jerome Walton, and Mike Greenwell. Oh yeah, I love this guy back in the day. Going in the PC. 4 packs left of this giant monstrosity known as Bowman 1990. Hoya, hoya, hoya. All right, we got Doc Gooden, Tom Candiotti, Larry Walker. There's a big rookie back in those days. Larry Walker. Soon to be he's a Hall of Famer. It's a matter of when they have the induction ceremony, but Larry Walker, that's a rookie hit. Jerry Goff, Hal Morris, Rob Deere, Rick Cerrone, Kyle Abbott. Here's another great story. Kyle Abbott I met when I was working for the AAA team, the Portland Beavers, and I interviewed him for the high school paper, and I was actually going to do a sports card show. And he actually said yes. So when he was playing for Edmonton, the Trappers, which was the Angels team at the time, I scheduled the card show around his games when they came to play the Beavers, and he came and signed autographs. Really good dude. I guess he's the team minister for the Texas Rangers now or something like that, but just a really good guy and just one of those awesome stories. That's a PC hit for me. Ken Caminetti, wow, rest in peace, man. This guy is the first example of where Rhodes went wrong. Just Google up Ken Caminetti. I will tell you more, but he was an animal, won the MVP, and then Rhodes just destroyed his body. Kevin Moss, Yankees fans, Kevin Moss. You remember this guy? I sure do. Scott Fletcher, Luis Sojo, Greg Maddux. Not his rookie at all. It's like his fourth year card. But Greg Maddux, Hall of Famer. Awesome pitcher back in those days. Eric Hansen and Danny Jackson. 3 packs left. Still missing a lot of cards, but they had like 560 in those days, and I'm not going to complete this set because, why? Donnie Baseball. Lloyd Mosby. Dan Schatzeder. Pat Combs. Matt Williams. He was a great third baseman for the Giants back in those days, and he played for the Diamondbacks too and the Indians. But being a manager for the Diamondbacks and I think the Nationals as well. But he was a good ball player back in those days. Howard Hilton, that name does not ring a bell at all. Reggie Harris, Glenolin Hill. His kid's now playing he's coming up the ladder. Glenolin Hill. He was a pretty solid ball player back in those days. Jimmy Key, Brett Saberhagen, pretty much one of the best pitchers. Those days, he'd be like Jacob deGrom now. That's what Brett Saberhagen was. And he had a good 5-6 year window when he was just awesome. Greg Vaughn didn't see a pitch he didn't like to swing at, and he swung at everything. Sometimes he hit it. Jose Rio, Jody Reed, Terry Steinbach, and Mike Hartley going into the PC pile. 2 packs left. Wow. 2 packs left. Still haven't got that the big hurt. Got Sabes. Roger Salkeld. I remember this guy. He was a big deal for the Mariners. I want to say he was a first round pick the year after Griffey, and he just didn't, or the year before, he just didn't pan out. Jaime Rosborough, Ron Hassey, John Smoltz. Not his rookie, but definitely a Hall of Fame pitcher. Throwing you in the hit pile there, Johnny. Ken Daly, Barry Lyons, Dave Parker, the Cobra. Ended up having an awesome year with the Reds and the Pirates before this, but this guy was just a pure pro hitter and MVP, I want to say, in the late 70s, early 80s. But yeah, he was awesome. Paul Moliner, there's a hit. You heard my story about him with hits, consecutive hits. He's a Hall of Famer. It's okay manager, but yeah, he's definitely a great player back in those days. Jack Clark, great example of a guy who hit the crap out of the ball, hit a lot of home runs, and never made it to Hall of Fame because he was a great player, but he just, like Dave Kingman, great player, just didn't have any other skill set. Frank Tanana, Jesse Barfield, Wade Boggs. Wade Boggs, you're going in the PC pile there, buddy. Great third baseman then of those days for the Red Sox, and then the Yankees and the Devil Rays. And Tony Fernandez and Mike Pagliarulo, former Yankee. Last pack, wow. It's been a massive trip down memory lane here, and I hope you're not bored. That's all I'm going to say. Last pack, let's get something. Nolan Ryan, Greg Swindell, Mike Henneman, Andy Van Slyke, great center fielder. Son Scott played for the Dodgers. I don't know where he's at now, but this guy was originally a Cardinal byproduct. Jimmy Gantner, Mark Gubisa doing the radio for the Angels, IT for the Angels. Rafael Valdez, I remember this clown. Paul Sorrento. The only reason I'm showing you this is because when I worked for the team, the Beavers at the time, he was an upcoming first baseman, and he was a big old Italian hairy lug. That's all I'm gonna say. Pretty good hitter, but didn't put it together. And he played about a good 3 years, but now he's a hitting coach. I want to say he was the head coach with the Indians. Lance Parrish, Felix Jose, Rick Russell, Bruce Hurst, Manny Lee, Derek Parks, and Mike Heath. Wow. We did not get a Frank Thomas rookie, which I was kind of hoping for. Honestly, I was expecting dupes on some of these things, but the dupes I did get were not the guys you want. So I did get dupes of Barry, so there's always that. So, I mean, I'm not going to go through the hits because there's so many, but I will go over the rookies real quick. So, as I just pulled, we did get the Larry Walker Hall of Famer. That's great. We did get Bobby Rose, Ty Griffin, Juan Gonzalez. Again, had a great career in the major leagues. Sammy Sosa. That's going to you, Mitch. That's your Sammy right there. The only one I pulled. Sorry. John Ullrud, Chuck Knobloch. We pulled Dose on the Knoblochs. Those are more of a personal rookie hit. And then the PC collection did well, but we had a lot of memory lane with Jack McDowell and Andre Dawson, Nolan Ryan, Mark Grace, Willie Banks, guys that mean nothing to you probably, but they mean a lot to me. And then some Red Sox and Dodgers hits. So we got ourselves a couple Barry Bonds. I mean, we did good. We just didn't get the Griffey was a little, the gum stain. We'll see. Whatever. Doesn't matter. And the whatchamacallit, the Frank Thomas would have been a nice way to end it. But hey, you know what? This was free. Mitch, thank you again. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed your personal rip. So if there was anything you wanted. So thank you so much for watching this super long ass version of Ripping Packs. And it's just me. I know. So that subscribe button, just give it a push. The like button, just give it a push. Notification bell, it's there. Do it. And while you're at it, follow me. I'm one of those things. We can chat back and forth and say hi. And you can look at pictures of some of the hits I'm going to post and go like, yeah, great, good job. Thank you again for watching Ripping Packs on Throwback Thursday. That day, right there. And I will see you tomorrow on Friday. Take care.